Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a top 5 video for you today. And today is a bit of a celebratory video because 2 years ago today I launched my channel and posted my very first video on Jake on the Fly. It was a review for the Shane Black's The Predator. I liked it. I mean, it's not the best nor worst Predator movie, but I think a lot of people are a little bit too hard on it. I still enjoy it. Last year, for my 1 year anniversary, I posted my video for my top 5 favorite Hitchcock films because he's my favorite filmmaker. So today, to celebrate 2 years aside, I'm going to post a video of my top 5 Jack Nicholson performances since he's my all-time favorite movie star. I was a little bit hesitant on who to do this video on because I do feel that Peter O'Toole is the greatest actor in movie history, but my favorite movie star is Jack Nicholson, so I decided to go with Jack. I've also seen a lot more Nicholson films. While preparing and researching for this video, I came across something I thought was kind of interesting. Jack Nicholson has been nominated for 12 Academy Awards, which is more than any other male actor. And considering how much the Academy loves to nominate actors for playing real people and for true stories, it really surprised me that he's only been nominated once for playing a real person. That was his nomination for Reds as Eugene O'Neill, a playwright, of course. If you don't know who he is, I don't know who watches my shit. Anyhow, God, excuse me, I hurt my ribs earlier this morning. Anyhow, these are my top 5 favorite Nicholson performances. Mind you, it's performances, not my favorite movies that he has been in. Otherwise, Tommy would make this list, but he's only in like one scene in that movie. You know what I mean? So number 5, as Detective Jake Geddes in Chinatown. Chinatown, to me, solely behind The Godfather, or only behind The Godfather, it's a close second, is the second best film of the 1970s, which is probably Hollywood's best decade in general. The whole setup here is Geddes is called in to investigate. He's a private detective in L.A. during the 1940s who's called in to investigate a cheating husband. You get those kind of photos. He is used in a scam of political corruption, and while investigating that, because he's the kind of guy who doesn't like to be anybody's pawn, he slowly starts to uncover a case that, resolves around the very nature of evil itself. And spoiler warning here, evil wins. Chinatown is a dark, hypnotic, traumatizing motion picture, and it is a must-see, one for the ages. Probably the best film he's ever done, but only his number 5 performance. Number 4, Randall Patrick McMurphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm surprised this is only number 4, to be honest with you, but I absolutely had to make the top 5. This was Jack's very first Oscar. It basically is a story of a con man, a hustler, who in the early 1960s pretends to be mentally ill so he gets himself locked up in an insane asylum to serve out the rest of his sentence. Once there, he realizes that they have their own rules and they're going to let him go whenever they think he's better or whenever they damn well like. He is systematically tormented, humiliated, and degraded by the legendary villain Nurse Ratched. Louis Fletcher also won an Oscar, as did this picture, the director, Milos Forman, and the script. One of only 3 films to win all 5 of those prestigious awards. The other 2 being, of course, Silence of the Lambs and It Happened One Night. It's a masterpiece. It's charismatic. It's funny. It's one of the funniest dramas you'll ever see. It's a great film, and I know the new Netflix show with Sarah Paulson come out. I think it looks a little bit too much like American Horror Story, even though I am intrigued in the concept of doing a prequel story about Nurse Ratched as a horror show. Yeah, I might check that out. Number 3. Daryl Van Horn in The Witches of Eastwick. This may, more than any other film in his career, proved just what kind of movie star Jack Nicholson is. In this film, he is the physical personification of Satan himself, brought to life due to the wishes of these three witches. Um, Wonderfully supported by his three co-leads, Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer. And I would say Susan Sarandon's best performance of her entire career. She's very good in this. Daryl Van Horn he's perverted, he's childish, he's manipulative, seductive, and I don't want to call him retarded, but he's referred to by one of the girls at one point in the movie. But it is a masterful, brilliant performance in a unique and kind of one of a kind film. Great. Seriously, if you've never seen The Witches of Eastwick, it's worth going back and seeing. Not only are all four lead roles really, really good, an Oscar caliber performance from Veronica Cartwright, as well as an early performance from Richard Jenkins. Like, seriously, 20 years before his name would even get remembered floating around Hollywood. Good special effects, a great score from John Williams. The Witches of Eastwick is a good goddamn movie. Definitely check that out if you've never seen it. Number 2, B.A. Badass Badusky in The Last Detail. Oh shit, was he a Marine? Or he's in the Navy. No, he's a sailor. And the whole setup is he is a what's the word I'm looking for? Wiry little, slippery little fucking loudmouth, with a big temper and a tadpole ass. But I mean, he can fight and shit like this, but he's just a little fucker. And the whole setup of him and another sailor are taking a sailor to military prison, who's, I believe, has robbed a poor box or something, and it is literally just the job of taking this guy to his sentence. Randy Quaid was nominated for an Oscar for it, as of course was Nicholson, and it's a very, very charismatic Jack Nicholson performance. When you think of that explosive, loudmouth, aggressive nature, kinetic nature of Jack Nicholson's performances, this is the one that always comes to mind first. And I can't tell you how many times over the years I've stolen his toast. In fact, I'll do it now. This here is to Batman, Superman, and the Human Torch. And my number 1, the Joker. I mean, I really lean on it being Badusky and Van Horn. I considered both of them being number 1. But when it came down to my absolute personal favorite, it had to be the Joker. Because look, it doesn't matter how great Joaquin was or how great Heath Ledger was, and they both were, but try to put yourself back in the placement of 1989. You're trying to make Batman. There is no such thing as a superhero film genre, and most people walking around remember Batman as this campy, silly comedy show from the 1960s. So the casting of Nicholson not only was inspired and perfect to the comics, but it also was an instant recognition that this film was going to be serious and this film was going to be adult. I mean, it was still definitely a kid's movie. I mean, I saw it twice at the theaters when I was like 4. But, Batman is... Joker... Jack Nicholson's Batman is... While you could argue that there may be more perfectly cast characters in movie history, like, say, Vivien Leigh, Scarlett O'Hara, or just as profitable, essentially profitable performances in movie history. I mean, this movie made this much money because this person played this role, like with Marlon Brando in The Godfather. But I don't know, man. To me, of my lifetime, of my era, I don't think any film's success or impact had more credit, one performance was more essential to that outcome than Nicholson's Joker. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all like this. 2 years I've had this channel. I'm not gonna stop. In my 2 years, I've only gotten 17 subscribers. I earned those subscribers, by the way. I've lost 2 over the years, but I earned that too by Jorgensen. Anyhow, I'm Jake Davis. I hope you like my Trump shirt. It was a gift from my wife. I'll catch you on the fly.